Would you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Yes, I'm Henry Lee Hayes III.
Mr. Hayes, are you the father to Henry Hayes IV, the defendant in this case?
Yes, sir.
Is it a fair statement that you really don't want to be here today testifying?
No.
But we issued you a subpoena to come in and tell the truth?
Yes.
And that's what you're going to do today?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes, what type of vehicle do you own?
I had a 95 Chevy Tahoe.
And did you own that vehicle back on February the 7th of 2016?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes, I'm showing you what is states 253. Do you recognize this vehicle?
Yes, that's my truck.
That's your truck? The 1995 red Tahoe?
Yes.
Do you recall that, taking you back to February the 7th of 2016, that was a Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday?
Yes.
On that day, did your daughter Cynthia Hayes ask to use and drive your red Tahoe?
Yes.
Did you allow her to use your vehicle?
Yes, I did.
And what was your understanding as far as who was going to be driving?
My daughter.
Did you know where your daughter was going to be going that evening?
Buffalo Wild Wings for a Super Bowl party.
Was there anyone else who was going with your daughter to Buffalo Wild Wings?
My son and my granddaughter and Rashon Jackson.
And when we say your son, of course...
Henry Hayes.
Yes, sir. And Rashon is the father of Cynthia Hayes' child?
Yes.
Do you also know a person by the name of Kwame Richardson, or JB?
I didn't know him at the time, no.
You didn't know him at the time? Was he with them when he left?
I didn't see him when my daughter dropped me off home and she went to her house and got ready and then she left. But I didn't see him when I didn't see him when they left.
All right. Did you know that Kwame Richardson was a close friend of your son's?
Yes, after that night I know.
So you knew they hung out together?
Somewhat. I mean, they said they was friends, so.
So once they left in the red Tahoe, kind of earlier in that day, I want to talk about who was in possession of that vehicle. Was it you?
Yes.
Anybody else besides you?
No one, me, just me.
Hadn't allowed any other person to drive your red Tahoe earlier that day?
No.
So you had possession of it right up until your daughter and your son and Rashon Jackson and your granddaughter left?
Yes.
But you allowed them to use the vehicle?
Yes.
When they left, who was driving?
When my daughter dropped me off home and she left driving.
So you drove over to, they left from her house and she dropped you off at home?
No, she dropped me off home and left from my house and went to her house.
I see. Later that evening, did you receive a call from your sister that the red Tahoe had been stopped by the police?
Yes.
Did you actually respond out to where the police had stopped the Tahoe?
Yes.
Do you know who was driving the vehicle when it was stopped?
My son, Henry Hayes.
Did you learn that a firearm was found inside of your vehicle?
That's what the officer said, but he didn't show me a firearm. He just said one was in there.
Did you ask your son where that firearm came from?
Yes, I did. He said he didn't know. He said it shouldn't be no gun back there.
You know, at this point, I think it would be appropriate to excuse the Richardson jury. Mr. Hayes, I want to talk about the day that your son was arrested for the homicide related to the death of Aiden McClendon. You knew that he had been arrested on that day?
Yes, again, he called me down there. Well, he was at the detention center.
And so you actually went down and spoke to the detectives?
Yes.
And they explained to you what was going on?
Yes.
And you actually spoke with the detective, Scott?
It was two of them.
Two of them. Huh. After you left, after meeting with the police, did you go to find Kwame Richardson?
No, I went to my daughter and told my daughter what was going on.
So did you go with your daughter?
Yes.
Why did you want to go find him?
I mean, she said she had to go talk to him, so I rode with her.
And then when you met Did you find Kwame Richardson?
Yeah, she found him.
And did you tell him that your son, Henry Hayes IV, had been arrested for the murder of Ada McClendon?
Yes. Well, my daughter talked to him. She told him that they're trying to put a murder on Henry.
And what did Kwame Richardson do in response?
Nothing. I mean, she was telling him about the gun that they found in the truck, and he just threw his phone down. And then he was like, they went to talk, and he was like, well, I got to let them know that was my gun. And then they walked off and went to talking.
He told you that you had to let who know?
I guess go down there and let the people know that was his gun in the truck.
Did he say anything about needing to turn himself in?
I didn't do much him because I went to call Henry's mother and letting her know what was going on.
Can you identify the person who said that the gun was theirs in the courtroom here today?
He's sitting right there.
Could you describe the article of clothing that he was wearing?
I can't see him.
Your Honor, may the witness stand?
You may stand, Mr. Hayes, if that'll help you.
He got to stand. I can't see him. I can't see what he has on.
Can you see who he's sitting next to?
Well, he had on the blue jacket, I believe.
Blue jacket. If the record could reflect that Mr. Hayes III has identified the defendant, Kwame Richardson.
The record will so reflect.
Your Honor, I do not have any further questions for this witness.